I've spent a lot of silver in the past few days. That means I need a bit of silver again. And that means it's off to the Northern Sea. And yeah, we're going for small fish, obviously, because we make the most cash at the Northern Sea when we fish for small ones, no matter what. So grab your rod, ideally a small pilk rod, a light one, like the Sensi, for example. That one's great for starting out, and ideally already with side rigs. This is more like, well, already advanced, so like 75% plus in sea fishing. If you've unlocked the side rigs, then this here really starts making sense. You can really make progress with that. If you're not quite there yet, there are videos on the channel that show you how to start at the Northern Sea with level 34 and without much cash. So even without side rigs, you can still make really good cash here in different areas. And if you're completely new to the Northern Sea, then definitely start off the first percentages. I mean the first percentages in sea fishing from land, because the boat tickets, well, they're not exactly cheap here, and you just don't make that much cash if you don't at least have the first 30%, let's say. Once you've got 30% or more in sea fishing, then you can start going out slowly. But like I said, all of that's explained in the video called Starting at Level 34 at the Northern Sea. That's actually the title, Level 34 at the Northern Sea and no silver. Just check it out. It's also in the Northern Sea playlist. Right now, I'm cruising around the fjord here. That means I didn't want to go far out to the classic spots, but instead just test a few old classic places here in the fjord. So I already started up here. It was okay, but a bit too little for me. So I kept driving around, and the nice thing is we have the fish finder. There's also a detailed explanation video about the fish finder. Shows exactly how and where to use it and what you can see on it. Yeah, and here in this area, I found several big spots. So I thought, let's test what's here. It's fluctuating right now between blue whiting, sometimes also Atlantic needlefish, which isn't bad, but also every now and then European sardine and scythid. And those are all fish that actually bring pretty good silver. So I'll happily take them all. And the frequency is pretty solid too. At first, I let the lure sink down to 25 meters. That was usually enough. And now I'm even letting it drop to 40 meters and then just pilking slowly upwards if there wasn't already a bite during the drop. So what do we have here? Something a bit bigger? Yeah, just cast out gently. And then, of course, we've got braided line on here, so we can also see exactly how many meters down it is. Nice in 5-meter steps. I'm just using the jig master here with the black pearl, and I've now switched completely to blue shrimp. At first, I had 3 different colors, of course, but when I noticed that over and over, or most of the fish were always going for blue, well, I eventually switched completely over to blue. So now we're back down at 40 meters. That means pilk once or twice, and if nothing happens, just do a round of reeling, then pilk again, then reel, then pilk. And I just keep pilking upwards again, testing all the different layers, depending on where I'm at. I can also see right now, I should probably correct my position a bit because I was just standing here in that slightly darker area, and the drift pushed me away a little. By the way, there's also a video about drift and how it all works. So if you've got questions, check that out. Because knowledge is silver and XP. The more you know, the better you progress in the game. So quickly change the position again, back into the area where I just was, roughly around here. Already a bit too far. So now really pay attention to where you're going. I want to go exactly into that corner, into that angle. All right, this looks good now. Right on that edge zone, that's usually worth it. Yeah, definitely getting a bit closer again. So from here, and then even further into the deeper, darker area here, there, and already a bite. This was working really well here just now with sardines and such. And of course, also with mackerel. What you can also always do, if you don't feel like going out far, just fish here in the 5-meter depth area. There are several videos on the channel about that too. Just check them out, how to fish well here. This spot here, really worth it even for beginners because you're only fishing at 5 meters deep and you'll find fish quickly. They bite fast and you pull them out fast. So yeah, really worth it. And there comes the next one, what do we have here? Another sachet. If you've got a spot with saith or you're specifically looking for them because they're totally worth it, then maybe also try changing lure colors a bit. Saith often works well with yellow lures. So yeah, when targeting saith, definitely try out yellow lures. All right, let's take a quick look here. Sort by price real quick. 300 silver. Yeah, not the absolute killer yet, but for testing and for the fishing time, yeah, just under an hour. A bit more needs to happen, but it's not too bad already. Zach, let's sell that. First, 300 silver are in. Let's keep going. And now I'm just gonna look around a bit more in the fjord with the same kind of setup and just see if I find another spot with maybe a lot of mackerel again or more of those needlefish, because those are really worth it too in terms of silver. If you're specifically after Atlantic needlefish and you know where they are, you can also try casting in different directions. So for example, cast straight ahead, let it sink a bit, and then go straight into pilking. Zach, reel, Zach, and reel. That means you're kind of fishing at the surface. Zach, there's already one, but you don't let it sink all the way. So it's kind of a zigzag motion, and you try, yeah, you see there's already one. You try pilking along the surface. So you pull a bit, pull again, reel a bit, and the lure usually doesn't go deeper than 10 meters. Like I said, you can basically do it like jigging in the midwater. And that's exactly where those needlefish often hang out, near the surface, like 10 to 15 meters deep at most. So if you pilk through a spot like that, and there are needlefish there, then you know that's a good spot. And then you can just keep fishing there, or drive back and start pilking right above that area. So that's definitely one way to find a good spot, especially if you've drifted off a bit, that works well. Or if you're just on land and want to complete a coffee order for needlefish, then that method also works really well. Yeah, and like I said just now, Zach, needlefish are super easy to catch with the same method. So just cast out, jig it along the surface, reel a bit, and you'll quickly have needlefish, as long as you know which shrimp or which lure is working right now. So that's also a very chill way to do it from land. And with that, I'm back at the base. That's it. The last few fish will be sold off too. Done. So Petrie folks, just go fish in the fjord sometime. It's really not bad at all. You don't always need to go far out and waste valuable time on the boat. Just test here in the nearshore area, especially when you're going for quantity. Try it out here in the fjord. If this helped you, leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, helps me a ton. And then, see you in the next video or in the next live stream.